Let's see if I can get this. Alright guys, trying to adjust the camera a little bit better for you guys as we have another live open the box. This will be our last opening of the box. We did get one more game from MMP sale, which is Day of Days, but we've already done a opening of the box for this, and I don't want to take the shrink wrap off of this one. I'm going to keep this one in shrink wrap. This is going to be my spare copy because I already have this game, but I wanted to get a backup copy in case I ever needed it for whatever reason. So for the price, it was a really good price during their fall sale. So I won't be doing a live unboxing for this one. So that's that. Just thought I would update that for you guys. If you watched our opening of our package. So this one is No Question Surrender. The Battle for Bir Hakeim. Bir Hakeim. This is part of the Grand Tactical Series, the GTS system by Multiman Publishing. Game designer is Nick Richardson and serial designer is Adam Starkweather. So thanks to them for that. This is hopefully more of a good introduction to the Grand Tactical Series. We already own The Greatest Day, and we also own Where Eagles Dare, but I haven't even dared to try and get those two out yet, let alone try to find space for the maps and everything. So I'm hoping this one's going to be a little bit more space friendly, more easier with less counters and stuff. So what is it? The Grand Tactical Series moves to North Africa, taking the acclaimed series from the Devil's Cauldron. This game gives players a chance to explore the struggles of the Free French forces, including 2 Foreign Legion battalions, as they attempt to hold on to the might against the might of Rommel's Panzer Afrika at the southern tip of the Gazelle line at an abandoned fort. No Question Surrender is the first game in the Grand Tactical Series of company-level games offered by Multiman Publishing to examine the North African campaign. The game includes new territory types to the system and new specific rules to cover events of this battle. There are included scenarios: the historic attack by the Italian Amati Division on the morning of the May 27th, an attack by the entire Italian Amati Division on May 27th, and the savage battle over Point 186, where the Germans briefly captured the pivotal observation point, only to be repulsed by the Free French. And finally, the full siege, starting from June 2nd, 1942, as the Free French tried to hold out against an ever-increasing Italian and German force. All right, there we go. Play more games. What's going on, buddy? How you doing? Got this one on the way. One map GTS should be more of a thing. I know that was kind of my intro to this. Is I own some of the other GTS games, and I just haven't had the guts to. Oh, I've already punched them, which took like forever and a day to punch them. And I'm hoping that they were just so big with so many maps and so many counters. It was just kind of ugh. Well, let's see what we got in this one. All right, so we have 4 dice, a blue, a green, and 2 white. 55, 86. All right, so your standard nice quality 10-sided dice. They're not cheap and flimsy. These are pretty good. You got your little tag from MMP. You have your rule book. This is your exclusive rules and scenario book. This is going to weigh in at a grand total of about 18 pages. There's some biographies and some of the participants here. We have narrative of what actually happened in the battle, the introduction, the failures, the German intervention. We have some scenarios. Scenario number 4. We have scenario number 3. Scenario number 2. And scenario number 1. Information about the scenarios. Then, of course, we're going to have our rules. Hidden AT guns. French artillery spotting. French morale. Air power. Counter battery fire. Dispatch points, minefields, desert train, and what's the scale of the game? And here is your counter symbols. So pretty reasonable there. Of course, you have your Grand Tactical Series rules of play. This is version. Good question, my friend. What version? Version 1.1. of the Grand Tactical Series. I believe, if I'm not wrong, they're at version 1.2, but don't quote me on that. I'll have to double check that. But this is going to weigh in at about 36 pages. This is going to give you information on the system and all the glossary of rules and entrenchments and examples of play, cohesion hits, combat results, assaults, opportunity fire, indirect fire, mortars, line of sight, transports, fire combat, movements, shit draws, sequence of play, and yeah, so it's going to be a little bit to learn. There are quite a few nice YouTubers out there that have done some Grand Tactical Series overviews, some playthroughs. So, been watching those, trying to get everything that I can get out of those, so that if I ever can get this on the table, I have somewhat of an idea what the hell I'm doing. We have the summary of rules, which is kind of cool. So it takes everything in the rule book and condenses it down into about 8 pages here. But it's just 4 pages plus some flow charts. So you have a direct fire flow chart, opportunity fire flow chart, direct fire flow chart, mortar fire flow chart, and your assault procedure flow chart, which is one of the most complex parts of the game, as you can see. So do you need to perform a bravery check? If yes, do this. If no, go here. Can the defender defensive fire? Is the assaulting unit suppressed? Etc., etc. So there's a whole bunch of questions to go through. But I think once these flow charts, once you use them a few times, you get the flow of things. These are just to help you kind of learn the game. And like I said, I would highly recommend you watch some YouTubers out there, go through this, play through some examples, some turns, watch how they do things, and then read the rules, because it'll make a lot more sense as you see things unfold. The counters. 3 counter sheets. These do not look like half-inch counters. These must be like 5/8 inch counters, so they're slightly bigger, which is nice. Looks like you have the brown units, and each division is color-coded. So all these purple guys go together, so you'll activate the purple guys when you draw the purple chit. You'll activate the orange guys when you draw the orange chit. The black and white ones are special. All the black ones activate as long as they're within range of the leader whenever you. So if you pull a purple guy, he's got a range of 8. Any of the black units automatically activate, and then there can activate a certain number of the white units. See, I'm learning some of this stuff anyways. That's my goal anyways. Two-sided, of course. Most units have a reduced side. Not all of them, but most of them. And then you're going to have your charts and tables here. Charts and tables. This is going to be your combat results, your modifiers. Single-sided. You're going to have probably a couple copies of each of these. Charts and tables. Then, of course, you're going to have your... These are going to be your different divisions. So each division that activates is going to keep track of their disc points and command points and morale track. So just like a Euro game where you have lots of things to keep track of, you're going to keep track of all that information on these little cards here for all the different divisions that come into play. And you can see there's a whole bunch of them here. Here's the 101st Travesti Divisione. That must be the Italian. It even has a photo of the General Azzi, 101st Traceve Division. Artillery leader killed. Oh. Then there's the 103rd Arnati Division. Alright, let's see what else we got here. We have a green piece of paper. So if you wanted to do something with the green piece of paper, you got one. Second counter sheet. You got some blue units here. I believe the blue ones are the Germans, which are a little bit different. And then the other thing that kind of throws people off are the NATO symbols for the Germans are different. And maybe the French as well. But they don't use like standard. I think these are your infantries. Your infantry divisions. This looks like a mortar unit or something. This is like a motorized unit. I forget what the symbols are, but it's not very intuitive because of that. Because they don't use standard NATO symbols. Other units will have icons on them. Let's see what... Oh, punching through here. And then you're going to have a lot of admin counters as well. Because sometimes units become suppressed and they're going to have adjustments on their firepower and movement and attack values. And sometimes they're going to have a cohesion hit. So lots of admin counters, which stacks up pretty high in... Another thing that kind of throws some people off on this game is because you're going to, if you have 2 or 3 units and then they kink a couple attacks, you're going to have some suppression counters on them, cohesion kick counters on them, you're going to have barrage counters on them, you're going to show whether they're in column. So then all of a sudden your little stack goes into a big stack because of all these admin counters. Now let's take a look at the map. Alright. So on the left side here we have the date and the time, current weather condition, the terrain effects. You have your weather determination charts. You have your that's kind of cool. Then you got your artillery parks A and park B. And then you're going to have your actual terrain here. This is going to be the fort. This is where the French are going to be. And then you're going to have The Italians and the Germans attacking from different directions with different forces. So you got a cool thing is, and this is kind of a, there is some neat things about the system. So like the center dot tells you what kind of terrain this is. So you just see that this is a light green dot. And if we look at our light green is a light minefield. Light minefield 1 is green. If it's red, it's a heavy minefield. There is black, it's just going to be desert, so these are just desert. Here's some, you can see where the minefields are here, and the light minefields here and here. And you can see the black, so it's pretty easy to tell what the terrain is because all you have to do is look at the center dot, which is kind of cool. Of course, there's going to be some rules for the fort. You have these red and white outlined hexes. I'm not sure what that represents. You'll have to look at the rule book for that. But yeah, you can see pretty doable size map compared to some of the other GTS. Get this mostly down on my table there. So it's nice having something a little smaller, condensed, one map, not having to worry about that. You will, of course, have to have your 8.5 by 11 sheets out as well, so you're going to need some space for that. But it's a matte finish. It's not glossy, which is nice, because if you're recording it on YouTube or whatever, you don't have to worry about the glare. Unless, of course, you put plexiglass on it, then you have glare again. So this might be one of those maps you get out and you put a bunch of books on it to flatten it out before you play it, because that way it'll be flat and you won't have to put plexiglass on it. So that might be a doable. But I do like the, it's got that thick paper quality to it. You can hear it like crunching and stuff. So that's nice. What do we decide? What was there? 3 counter sheets? 1, 2, yeah, 3 counter sheets. And then we're going to have 1, 2, 3. Here's the Frenchies. This must be the Germans. Okay, so these are probably the colors here. So the green is going to be, light green is going to be this division. Dark green is going to be this division, which are both Italians. Then you have the Germans. And then you have the French. So you only have 4, which is nice. And they're probably not used in every scenario, too. So that's cool. You're going to have just one table, charts. That's cool. And, of course, your series rule book. Your rules of play. Your exclusive rules and scenarios. That, your dice, and your box lid. And there you go. No question of surrender. By MMP, part of the Grand Tactical Series. Definitely a smaller, introductory type game. Certainly not as complex as some of the others that I already have. The Greatest Day and Where Eagles Dare. So I'm hoping they produce a couple more smaller ones as good introductory games for people out there to get them into the series so that they can actually play them, try them out, decide they like them, and then we can get more people doing videos on them. We can see more, learn more, and then we can get ours on the table, which is what we want to do to begin with, right? So no question to surrender. The Battle of Bir Hakeim, Grand Tactical Series by MMP. I've been your host, ID Jester. Until we get back together again soon, hope everyone has a great night and a wonderful evening. So we'll see you guys soon. Till then, take care.